Hi, everybody. Thank you guys so much for coming tonight. I'm pretty excited to share some things that I work with my clients on, as well as some learnings that I've had over the years. And I was compelled to start with this photo. This is my husband and I am a new Murphy, inducted into the Irish heritage. And so, of course, we had to go to Ireland and go to the Guinness factory. And this is one of my favorite photos. I have it up at the bar at my house, and it's one of my friends' favorite photos as well. They come over and they look at this and they're like, "That's amazing! We love that photo. It's so quintessential. You guys, the Murphys, out having this amazing life adventure." And what's so funny is if you had talked to us about 5 minutes before this photo, you would have heard us at each other's throats. And we had been on the road for about 3 months at that time. I've been very lucky to be able to travel all over the world for my jobs, and we'd been traveling for 3 months. We were completely lost, probably at hour 3, wandering Ireland. It's, as you know, very cold and rainy, and the funny thing is we don't even know how the fight started, but we just were, steam coming out of each other's ears. Nothing we said was right. And all of our friends love this photo. They think it's so fantastic and so great. And for my husband and I, there's so much more story to it. And it's a great example of the power of perception. And really, your personal brand is created by the perceptions and the emotions in someone else's head. So while it is important what you think of yourself normally, when it comes to personal branding, it's really important what other people are thinking of you. And in this photo, it was great for us. They're thinking awesome when the reality was a bit different. So it's getting straight to the point, personal branding. The reality is every single person in here already has a personal brand. You guys are creating that every single day. You created it by what you did yesterday, and you're going to create it by what you do walking out of here today. And I hate this word, personal branding, just so everyone knows. I don't like the word. I think it's overused. I think it's a bit cliche. It's kind of a buzzword right now. And for me, personal branding really isn't about this contrived image. It's not about colorful clothing. It's not about a sappy slogan. It's personal branding. A strong personal brand is built by someone who is conscious and mindful of the way that their actions are impacting everyone around them, and that's how they're going to be remembered. So that's a bit about what I'm going to talk to you guys today. I looked for a great definition to share with you on personal branding, and since I hate the word, I couldn't find one. I couldn't find anything with Forbes, Wikipedia. I looked all over. This is kind of my favorite, though. It's by Elvis Presley, and he says, "Values are like fingerprints. Nobody's are the same, but you leave them all over everything you do." So just to reiterate, you're leaving your brand everywhere you go with everything you say. And the sooner that we acknowledge that and the sooner that we understand that, the more control you will have as you walk out the door. So like Maggie said, I have had some experience with Nintendo, with Elizabeth Arden, with Coca-Cola, a lot of different big companies, being the director of advertising for them. I also have owned my own small business for about 6 or 7 years and packaged it up and sold it, and have had my own personal practice of working with corporate women as well as women in small business for the last couple of years. And that's kind of my passion. That's what I love. That's my thing now. But I work with those women on a lot of personal branding. We talk together about how to really align who you are and what you do. And for me, it's really important that people feel that fulfillment and that purpose in their professional lives. I've always wanted to be incredibly successful professionally, but you get to a point where you need to feel like you have purpose and you need to feel like you're fulfilling something at the same time. And that's a very hard thing for us to do. So I work with women on figuring out how to do that. And some of the things I'm going to talk to you guys about today are some learnings that I've had and some topics that have been popping up the last couple months to just gather in that information that someone is telling you. So That would be my piece of advice going into negotiating or interviewing. And also, to remember that one of the most sincere forms of respect is actually listening to what other people have to say. This next one is about expecting more than others think possible. When I started in advertising, I started from the very bottom. I was an assistant, and I walked in the door knowing nothing about it. I mean, I graduated with an agricultural business degree and decided I wanted to do advertising. So, I pack up all my stuff, I go to the big city of San Francisco, and there I am trying to find my way. About 6 months in, I decide advertising is pretty cool because I want to be on a TV set. As you can hear from the stories, I'm not sure why I wanted to do that, but in hindsight, it was really kind of my next step. It was my next step to move forward. It was my next step to get promoted. And so I decided at 6 months I wanted to do it. Now, no one has done it before 2 years in that agency. So I walk up to my boss and I say, no, this is crazy, but I want to be on a TV set soon. And so I've been kind of exploring the best way for me to do that. And I think I need to start building some trust with people. I think I need to start becoming that go-to person. And I'm noticing when I'm in meetings, they ask the questions and they're directed to you. But as you know, I usually know the answers. So maybe in this next meeting, would you mind letting me kind of answer the questions? She was like, yeah, sure. I don't see a problem in that. So we go to the meeting. Someone asks a question. They look at my boss, and they ask her about something that had to do with TV shoot, and she answers it immediately. I was like, okay, this is not going to be so easy. So we leave the meeting, and I immediately go up to her and say, thank you so much for that conversation we had the other day. Like, I really appreciate you wanting to help me move forward and achieve this goal that sounds a bit crazy. Here's what I'm going to need you to do. The next time someone asks you a question, would you mind very specifically saying to them, let's go ahead and ask that question to Kelsey? And she was like, okay. So the next time we're in a meeting, someone asks a question, she directly says, let's ask Kelsey. And I blurt out all the answers I can and let them know all the information that I know. And then they ask another question, and they direct it to her. And she says, okay, let's ask Kelsey. And I blurt out all the answers that I know. And then all of a sudden, the next question is directed towards me. And the question after that is directed towards me. And I'm starting to establish this trust. And within 3 weeks of that conversation, I was running my own TV shoot. And to me, I just expected to do it. I didn't take the 2 years as kind of that's the route I have to go. I expected to be able to be better than that. I expected kind of to be great. That I'm not really going to go the status quo. I'm not really just going to take this route that everyone else is supposed to take. I believe I'm a bit better. I believe I'm kind of great, and I'm going to show that to you, and I'm going to earn it, and I'm going to put it out there. So that's what I did. And I think that you literally have to create a great, amazing life for yourself. You have to design the life you want, and then you have to go get it. It's very easy to take a life by default. It's very easy to take this route by default. But if we can be brave enough to really design that life that we want, then I think that you'll be so much happier than you would if you just took the status quo route. The last thing that I just would say to you guys is nowadays people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And it's so important to have a point of view on the world versus just a position at a company. People really want more now. Companies want more, the world wants more, and even we want more. I'm noticing every single conversation I have with my client is all about fulfillment. It's about purpose. It's about wanting to find your passion. So we want more too. Companies want it just as much. So I would challenge you to stand for something today. I would challenge you all to go home tonight and decide what it is that you're going to stand for. Decide whether it's going to be something huge and amazing that has been on the tip of your tongue you've been thinking about, or if it's something so small such as you want to be part of the environment. You want to create a better world for your future kids. You want to create a recycling bin. You want to start small. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to evolve with you. It's not going to stay that way forever. It will evolve with you and where you are in your life and where you are in your profession. So with that, go home and choose something to stand for today. And remember, the second you walk out this door, you are creating your personal brand.